Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 3.
Listen here, I don't remember who I heard it from, but I saw it somewhere. They said Real Housewives of Potomac is fun again. With no Candiace, with no Robin. I'm like, you know what? It is fun again. Good? Well, we don't know. But fun? Hey, I like it. Subscribe, like, share, comment. All the above. Blair, you ready to walk us through this?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
So Gizelle is kicking Mia, Jassy, and Stacey all out of her event.
Yeah.
They arrived at 8:02 when Ashley told them that they could arrive at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So they go back to the Sprinter, and Ashley gets hyped up by some of the people at the party telling her to throw the barcode into the car. So she goes down there trying to be funny, and Jassy ends up closing the door on Ashley, and Ashley is pretending like she's hurt. But she ends up throwing it in there, and they are all very upset.
Yeah.
Mia's talking about she don't want to do nothing with Gizelle. She don't want to decorate her tacky house and be with her Willy Wonka furniture.
Oh, come on. It's not Willy Wonka. It's not Willy Wonka. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought that was just really disgusting, the way that they kicked him out. They were just trying to be supportive of both Karen and Gizelle.
Yeah.
And then for Ashley to come down trying to be funny, like after y'all kicked him out the event, I was like, that wasn't funny to me. Like, I was just like, just let them go if you're kicking them out.
Yeah, truth be told, that's actually what gets you beat up. That actually what starts a fight. That actually what gets people ready to throw fists and hands and feet, because you want to throw a donate or this thing, just trying to be funny, just trying to be, beneath you. You get what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
So Jassy meets Stacey at her house. Stacey was talking about how Gizelle had security at the event. She was like, do we need security to hang around with these girls?
Yeah.
Then Ashley arrives. Jassy tells Ashley that you were G&A, gangsters, and alcohol, and y'all did y'all best trying to kick us out.
That's true.
So Jassy apologizes for closing the door on Ashley, and Ashley's trying to pretend like she was sore. And Jassy was like, I basically did like the door on me just to make sure it wouldn't hurt you. And yeah, the door closed softly.
Yeah, you ain't gonna sue me.
So Karen comes in. Ashley brings up how Karen told Gizelle that she didn't want there to be a conflict with the ladies when it came to both events. Ashley says that you couldn't even tell me what the award was for last week when we were all sitting down talking to you. And Karen says that she was at an Inquisition party. She answered every question. She was like, when your guy was over here squeezing people's butts, you didn't have nothing to say.
Mike, like I said, Michael been wilding.
Exactly. So Karen says, there's basically with your 4 Uber cards that you got me, I knew you were being shady, and she should have gave him back to her so she can get the human being of an acorn off of her foot.
Oh no, not the bunion.
So Ashley raises both of her feet onto the table to show the acorns, the bunions.
Don't put your feet on my table, please.
So Stacey asks, so how are we going to move forward with this? They need Gizelle to apologize. So Karen and Ashley both agree that Gizelle will apologize.
Listen, Stacey had a great line. She said, Ashley's a beautiful woman from the top of her head to her ankles and things like that. I will say this, right? Your problem is with Karen. It's not with the other women and stuff like that. But one thing that Stacey don't understand, which she will learn this season, is that Karen and Gizelle are the anchors of the show. You have to pick a side.
Yeah.
Because they have this little friendly rivalry that they be going back and forth with. So it's like, she's like, hold on. Like, Gizelle be walking around with security? Yeah, Gizelle thinks she's like a star. So, like, she thinks she get to throw people out and just have security and think she can roll like that. So, like, Stacey, you will learn, and then you probably get thrown out of more places if Gizelle is throwing the party and things like that.
Yeah, and I'm totally on the side of the women. I'm taking offense to that.
Yeah.
Like, if we've come out, we've tried to make both events, like, don't kick us out, don't make us look crazy. So Wendy, at her house, her mom is showing how to make yam porridge.
Okay.
So Wendy tells her family that she's going to North Carolina for a couple of days. Mia invited them to go to Lake Norman. Apparently this is where Mia grew up, found her success, and it's also going to be during Wendy's birthday.
Happy birthday.
So apparently Eddie's dad called Wendy to wish her a happy Mother's Day. As we know, this is a big deal because Eddie's family really hasn't been partaking in anything to do with Wendy and Eddie and their children. nothing.
Really?
So Wendy's mom and Eddie's mom were friends before, but once Wendy and Eddie got engaged, that's when the friendship went left. Wendy wants to invite his parents to her 40th birthday party, and the mom tells her, sure, you know what, go ahead, do that, I'm all for peace.
Yeah.
But the mom does explain that at Cruz's baptism, which was the last time they were kind of in the same vicinity, the Eddie's mom pushed Wendy's mom away when she went to go hug her. So she was like, if she comes to me, there's going to be a showdown.
Okay. Wendy said that her mother usually come over to cook, and she cooks all the time because she said if she don't cook, she feel like her grandchildren don't eat.
Right.
I can probably attest to that because Wendy, I saw you cutting that onion. I was like, there's no way you know how to cook. Wendy said she knows how to cook, but she just don't be doing what her mother be cooking. I said, no, I saw you cut that onion. And if you know anything about cooking, onion is one of the main ingredients that you basically use almost in every meal. I saw how you was cutting that onion. I was like, Wendy, I don't think you know how to cook. But hey, I'm not judging you. I'm just pointing it out for the masses to see. You get what I'm saying? But it's good for her mother to be a woman of peace and things like that because, you know, why not?
Yeah.
You know? And
like they said, if the tides are turning, if we can get the family together, then that's a great thing.
Yeah.
So Keiarna's mom comes by the house. So Keiarna is living with her boyfriend, Greg. They're waiting for their home to be built that they are building together.
Yeah.
So she thinks that the ring should come after she's happy in a family unit with Greg. And the mom asks what the road to marriage looks like. Keiarna doesn't want to be this thirsty ring girl and just be wanting so badly and pining after marriage. And the mom is just like, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. You're not going to be a thirsty ring girl, though. You're just waiting for the right person to arrive. And I was like, I thought Greg was here. So we learned that Greg is divorced. He has 3 daughters, and she is the first woman that the girls have met since his divorce.
Yeah. Oh, is that it? You first on this one.
Yeah, my thoughts. I don't know. I feel like people do life however they want to do life. I wouldn't necessarily want to build a home and be tied to someone financially without being married to them. But if that's what they want to do and they feel safety and security in that, that's their prerogative. But to me, I'm just like, I don't know if this is a wise move, but if it works out great, then that's great. But I do think it's important that if you're in a relationship, like, you guys should discuss if you want to be married, if that's something that you are looking for. I don't think it's a thing about being thirsty, but just letting your intentions be known and just to find out if the person is on the same page as you. So I'm hoping that if Keiarna does have a want to be married, that she's expressing that to Greg, so that way they can know if they're on the same page when it comes to that, and not time going down the line and she's like, when are you going to ask me to marry you? And he's just like, I never said I would. So
and we never talked about it.
We never talked about it. And we got this house we building.
Well, usually on every show, I try to find someone to basically like put my hook in and stay on them and things like that to make them my main character of the show. And Keiarna, is that how, like you said her name? Yes. Keiarna? Keiarna, you are my main character. Listen here, I understand what you think you sound, but I'm gonna tell you what you sound. You sound dumb. Right? You sound like Instagram, you sound like Facebook, you sound like Twitter, you sound like all these social media things basically like, you know what, I don't want to be thirsty for like marriage and stuff like that. I don't want to sound like that. So you don't want to make it known or what you want. And your mama basically called you dumb without calling you dumb, because she ain't gonna call her daughter dumb. But at the same time, she's like, so what is this road to marriage? You talking about, okay, it's a 2-week delay on the house and things of that nature. I think down the line, I think she was talking to somebody. I want to say, I don't know her name. I don't think it was Jacqueline, but it was somebody who she was talking to. And I think she'd been with this guy for 2 years or something like that. So I'm like, a lot of investment that you are putting in, your finances, your credit, the things that can basically damage you in the future for someone who wouldn't put that level of commitment into you. Right. Like, you look for trying not to look thirsty, for trying not to look like, you know, one of those, don't say that M word, you look like a fool. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I'm not saying that it won't work, but why take that risk? Like the risk is not worth the reward, in my opinion. I think y'all should at least be engaged before y'all start building a house. But every time I see Keiarna's boyfriend under my man's name, I'm like, okay, I see you.
So it is prom season.
Yeah.
And Gizelle's twins are getting ready for prom. So Gizelle got home and realized that she is not mad at the women. She is mad at Karen.
Okay.
And she does need to apologize for expressing her frustrations and taking her anger out on them.
Too late. You already threw me out.
So Jamal arrives. He's there to see his girls off. They agree to do a 12:30 curfew. Gizelle doesn't care how many girlfriends Jamal has, because they asked him. They were like, Jamal has a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
She was like, look, he's a father to these kids, and that's the thing that's going to be constant in this life, no matter who he's with.
Yeah. I think like you just gotta be used to seeing Jamal on TV, even though they're not together, because Gizelle's not gonna bring no other man on TV. You know what I'm saying? So the only man consistent you're going to see is at least the father of her kids. It's good to see her daughters growing up and things of that nature. There's really nothing really to add to this scene. Do you have anything?
No, I just think, her daughters are beautiful. It's always nice to see Gizelle with her kids. I think she's a great mom. I'm happy to hear that she recognizes she needs to apologize. This is not the Gizelle of old for her to even admit any wrongdoing. So this is an interesting side to see. I do not trust it, but I am appreciative to see it.
Don't trust it, because I don't think she's motivated by change.
Right.
I think she's motivated by,
change.
Yeah, exactly.
Change.
Somebody saying, hey, you will be fired if you don't play nice with the girls. So, but her true self came out, like, this is episode 3 of the season, right?
Yes.
See, her true self came out in episode 2. You get what I'm saying? Where she wanted to isolate and break up. You know what I'm saying? So, like, she's like, oh, yeah, I don't want to be in that Bravo executive office talking about some, hey, you're fired. So, yeah I understand.
So Mia and Ing, they decided to get a little staycation rental.
Yeah.
Apparently Gordon is always in the space when they are at the apartment, because Mia and Gordon share the same apartment building. And sometimes they want to rent an Airbnb for privacy when Ing comes into town.
Okay.
So Jacqueline and her daughters arrive. They're going to celebrate Jacqueline's on-again, off-again boyfriend, father of her children, Patrick.
Okay.
So Ink and Mia were wild together in the past, is what Jacqueline says. Apparently, when they broke up, Jacqueline was getting date invites from Ink to go out and have dinner and hang out, and Jacqueline decided to just stay away from that.
Wow.
I was just like, y'all do just like be putting each other's like dirt out there, because I'm just like, y'all didn't go on a date, Jacqueline. Why was there a need to even say that?
You didn't even have to say that.
So Patrick arrives, and Jacqueline talks about how they're separated, but they are co-parenting. Apparently, she calls him something like PP, which means like peaceful parenting, but also because he has like a pretty big D or whatever like that.
Okay.
So yeah. So Patrick's daughters apparently look like her, and he's asking Ink if he has any children, and the camera pans to Mia's son, but we don't quite get an answer from Ink. So Mia's talking about how G always calls for little things, looking for his coffee cup, if he got a hangnail. But it is beneficial for G being in his kid's life, living in the same building. She talks about how it was really detrimental for her not to have her father in her life. So
what is there to add to this scene besides the ghetto? Basically, this is just ghetto-ness and things like that. This is the life that, guess what, that G invested in. You know what I'm saying? And now Mia is basically calling the shots and things like that. Gotta make sure I get granddad his coffee cups, his medicine, things of that nature. So it's like, it just is what it is. Like, this is what you sowed, and now like you reaping what you sowed, you know?
So we see Stacey go to her personal training session with her friend, or her best friend, TJ.
This is a very interesting scene to me.
So this relationship has been one of friendship, but she's talked about how it's gotten closer to her getting her divorce, and towards the end of that, it's feeling more romantic.
Okay.
He is not wanting to sleep with Stacey. He wants to wait until marriage, and she believes that he is worth the wait.
Okay.
So he asked her how she's handling the divorce, and she says it's a lot. She's talking about how she doesn't really want to talk about it. She doesn't want to talk about heavy stuff. She's like, you know how I feel. And basically, she's just trying to get through it. And he tells her, look, he has to do things the right way, and he wants to make sure that there's a start and a finish. So to me, that sounds like before we even contemplate dating, like, you need to be divorced. Like, he's like, I'm not getting involved in whatever comes up during the divorce. Like, it needs to be final.
What are your thoughts on TJ?
TJ's interesting.
Okay.
I'm just saying he's a unique character. So I really don't have too much to say about him per se. I feel like him and Stacey kind of match in their energies and interactions and stuff like that.
Oh, do you think so?
yeah, I feel like their personalities, they seem to have kind of like the same, like kind of corny, like way about them or whatever like that, which I think is fine and could work for them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to him wanting to wait until she's divorced, like I can respect that. He's like, I don't want to get into adding any mess into the divorce situation that you guys are going through. But his thoughts about waiting until marriage, you know, if he is a Christian person and that's something he wants to respect, that's cool. But I also feel like there's not much of a romantic spark or a chemistry
that's what I was going to say
between them. Like that's the part that I'm missing. I can see the friendship and that they get along, but I'm not seeing that romantic spark that Stacey speaks of. So I'm wondering if TJ is feeling that way. So I don't know.
Or maybe he's like, you know, it's on camera. I don't know. I feel like they're both weird based on what you said, based on how their vibes are. But I'm like, they're both older, so maybe this is how older people date. I don't know, right? But it just seemed very forced. Even when like she was squatting and he was behind her and things like that, spotting her, it just seemed like very forced. It doesn't feel like two best friends or basically, because like she said, that's my best friend. It doesn't seem like two best friends who always liked each other who finally get the chance to be with each other. It doesn't feel that way. It doesn't look that way. I'm worried about Stacey because I don't know if this is the guy that she think he is, in my opinion, to say it nicely. Yeah. You know?
So Mia's talking about how she's moved like 4 times, like, you know, pretty close together, and she loves her new apartment. She tells Ink that they are going to go to Lake Norman, all the girls, and he asks if Auntie is coming, and Auntie is Gizelle, and she is coming. And Mia fills us in that Gizelle did apologize to her for taking her anger out on her, and Mia fills Ink in, whispers to him that Karen got a court date. She looked up her case and saw that it's gone to court. There's going to be some type of like jury and there's the situation going there.
Yeah, it's a criminal court case. It's not a civil one. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might go to jail.
Yeah.
You know?
So then we see Gizelle meet up with Ashley. Yeah. She's also having Wendy, Jazzy, and Stacey to come as well. Yeah. So Jazzy appreciates how Gizelle greets her. She greeted her with a warm hug versus last time she was pointing her finger telling them to get up out her space.
That is true.
So Gizelle said that honestly the anger was really towards Karen, and she apologizes to the lady. She says Karen knows what she's doing, and she will address that with Karen. Wendy was shocked when she came in to hear that Gizelle apologized. I was shocked too. Yeah. Stacey shares that she's going through her divorce. Giselle's kind of like asking her questions, trying to get to know her a little bit more. And Gizelle asks her, you know, do you want the divorce? Like, you sound kind of sad about it. Yeah. Like, when I was going through mine, like, I was actually more happy towards the end of it. And Ashley was like, well, Stacey has a new friend. Well, Stacey is annoyed because Ashley's over here putting her business out there.
Wow.
Stacey says that she's not ashamed of her friend, but the way that Ashley brought it to the table, essentially Stacey felt it was kind of messy.
Why?
So Gizelle said, well, you know what? Focus on your happiness. If your new friend makes you happy, then go for it.
Yeah, I felt like it was weird that Stacey felt some type of way that Ashley brought up the friend.
I'm like, Ashley can get a lot messier. Like, this wasn't even...
I'm about to say, this
wasn't nothing for real.
Matter of fact, let's go back to the scene with the whole showdown between Karen and Ashley. Ashley was like, I'm actually being nice with you. Because Karen over here keeps saying things like, I could have hurt myself. And I'm like, Karen, you sound a little tone deaf to the whole situation. Yeah. Whenever it comes to drunk driving, unfortunately, we do not think about the drunk driver first. You get what I'm saying? We think about everybody that could have been hurt by your actions and things like that. So actually, the whole thing with her and talking about, like, I knew you were trying to be shady with the Uber cars. Trust me, it could be worse with Ashley. So going down to this scene, I'm looking at Stacey. I'm like, all she did was say you got a friend. Yeah. And like, it could have been worse. If this is someone that you see yourself with and you should be happy that he's helping your friend is helping you progress in his healing period for you, why not feel some type of way in the sense of like, yeah, I'm happy that I got a friend. And then on top of that, you're on the show. Y'all film scenes together. Exactly. So I don't understand why you trying to hide him in a way. Like, what was your thoughts on that, if you have any on that?
My thing is, I get where Stacey's coming from in the real world. If I've got something going on or I got a situation, let me be the one to talk about it. That is true. So that's the real world. However, on the show with Ashley, I think it's fair to bring up, hey, like, you know, so and so told me about this or about that. There's going to be like bone collecting, and this was like light work. This really wasn't even nothing. But I feel like for Ashley bringing it up, like Ashley can sometimes put 20 on 10 for situations, or even bold-faced lie about stuff. And for this, she just said, you have a friend. She didn't even say you had a boy toy or you had a little sneaky link. She didn't put 20 on 10. She just said you had a friend. And Stacey could have spun that, but I think because Stacey is, you know, just new to the reality TV game, she is kind of going in real world rules. Yeah. Basically, like, if it's my business to tell, I need to be the one to tell it.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So the ladies get to the airport. Yeah. Stacey is going to meet them there by driving. Apparently, her uncle, it sounded like, passed away from a flight that crashed. So she drives. Wendy is turning 40. And Gizelle and Wendy are actually enjoying each other's company on their ride to the rental. So Mia asks how Karen's doing, and Karen is like, she's just taking care of herself. You know, she's not really going to get into detail. And Mia tells her, look, girl, it's online. And there's going to be a time that you're going to break.
Oh, my goodness.
But Mia tells us in the confessional that she was just looking out for Karen and just trying to let her know that I'm a friend. I'm here for you. But I think it's a little of both. I think people are a little bit nosy. They kind of want to know the behind the scenes details of what actually happened that night. Yeah. Which I can't fault Karen for not wanting to share, because it is a legal matter.
Why not?
And she doesn't want to admit fault, because then she'll probably have some type of repercussions. But my thing is, like, I'm kind of with me. It's on the internet. Like, can you tell us something?
Yeah. My whole thing is, we also do a show called Tia Maury, My Next Act, and things like that. And Tia haven't told us why she got a divorce. Now, she don't owe us anything. But at the same time, don't be mad when people come up with their own story. Oh, Corey was broke and he was jealous, and Tia is the breadwinner, or Tia's feeling lonely. Like people is going to basically fill in the blanks. Yeah. So Karen could have easily just said, look, I have a court case coming up, a criminal court case, because just say what's public. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to give your personal opinion about it. Just say what's public. And this whole Karen thing of this gonna show me who's on my side act is like, just say what it is. You're scared. And you know you messed up big time. We seeing Ray drop you off. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know you messed up big time, and you're just scared. And I understand. But the whole Wendy and Gizelle thing, listen here. That's why I say I'm happy. I have nothing against Candiace. I have nothing against Robin. But I'm happy they are gone, because this is what we want to see. Everybody coming together, chilling together, liking each other, at least as co-workers. You get what I'm saying? Anything else?
That's all I got.
Listen, I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Y'all be good. Bye.